Guys, how's it going? It's me, Josh Halter, owner and founder of The Bio-Dude here in Houston, Texas. You can visit my showroom here Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, or you can visit my website, thebiodude.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and of course, check us out on Facebook at The Bio-Dude. And today, as you can see, I have a bunch of Miss King stuff in front of me, and I'm going to be doing a Miss King tutorial, how to put together your system, which system you should consider for what it is that you're building, as well as what some of these different pieces mean, and ways that you can take to save money. So the first thing that I'm going to go over is the two systems here. So the starter system right here is a great way to get started. It includes a standard pump that can handle up to it says 10 nozzles. I have pushed it as far as 15 nozzles and gotten decent results. But for the longevity of the pump, you don't want to push it more than 10. This includes one nozzle, your Miss King digital seconds timer, your Miss King reference manual, your Miss King keychain, as well as a single nozzle and the pieces and tubing you need to get it hooked up. Overall, this is a great way to get started and to connect multiple cages later on. However, if you're like me and you have a couple more reptiles than the normal person, the ultimate is something that you're going to want to consider past the starter. What makes the ultimate different than the starter is that the pump is larger. Since the pump is larger, it can handle a lot more volume as far as nozzles is concerned. I have pushed this as far as 25 nozzles and haven't had any issues long term, and I'm going to show you guys how to hook up the ultimate Miss King in just a couple of minutes. Now this includes a little bit more stuff than the standard does. This includes your full double nozzle. It includes your more tubing. It includes of course your digital seconds timer, your reference manual, and your Miss King. Overall, the ultimate is a little bit more money, but if you're looking to get all of your animals on a time schedule, if you have numerous, it is a great way to go. And then the next model up that they have, which I only do special orders on, is the largest Miss King pump, which is what zoos as well as other larger institutions use in their mega rooms. I actually have one operating the right side of my showroom on both sides. That's running about 20 nozzles, and this thing could easily go to 40 or 50. What makes this pump different than your ultimate or your standard is that it takes a different size tubing in the entry. So instead of using a 1/4 inch tube that you see here, you put in your 1/4 inch tube, break it down to a 3/8 inch backbone. So that larger tube that goes into here, that goes into your pump, and then this 3/8 tube comes out of the pump into your reservoir, creating a lot more surface area for water, creating a stronger mist for more nozzles. If you are working with multiple chameleons or just have a lot of cages, this is the Cadillac of all the 3 Miss King pumps that they offer. They all do come with a manufacturer's warranty, and that's something that you can reach out to Miss King about if there's any issues. The next thing I'm going to go over are your different pieces that I sell. Now I do have pretty much every piece that you need on my website, and they always ship for free. I hated going to some of my competitors' websites and ordering one of these pieces, and they would charge me $4 or $5 for shipping. If you order this for me, I charge I think $2.99. It would ship for free, and you would get it within 3 to 5 days, and you won't be charged that extra high shipping. So the first pieces that I'm going to show you are your T's. So you see a T piece right here that has reducing ends, so to speak. 3 reducing ends, where this T has 2 reducers and 1 plug-in. Now this type of T is what you would plug into a bulkhead like this. And when you plug it in, you would use this bulkhead at the top of your cage, as you see here, to plug in your nozzles. So the water flows from this cage to here, so you can have multiple nozzles with one unit, if that makes sense. Whereas you have something like this is great for stacking up racks. So let's say you have a baker's rack, and your tubes are running this way, and you need to break it off so that way a tube is going one way like this, while you still have up suction coming this way or down. You always want to use gravity. So as the water trickles down, it'll come over here, creating pressure for the nozzles in the middle rack, and allow the tube to go down into the other level. That is what a piece like this is for, and it's the exact same principle with the elbow. You have your double reducing sides elbow, which is great for corners or adding, building your own misting nozzles. Or you also have your plug-in, which what I mentioned before goes right into your bulkhead. You would use the plug-in E at the very end of your line. So let's say you have your baker's rack or a similar rack with 3 cages per rack. So you would have each nozzle in a T going like this. So the tube from your Mist King is going to be coming into here. You're going to be running tubing down to here, which is going to go to the next level. This is going to cover the top. And waters is going to go down with gravity. And by the time you get to the very bottom level, you don't want to continue that water. You want it to end, which is why we would use the reducing elbows. Because we could simply plug in the elbow at the top here of the nozzle, boom. Your whole row is now done. Nice and simple. I do like these nozzles. The nozzles are pretty expensive. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I try to keep them as affordable as possible. The water quality is very important for the longevity of these nozzles. Since you really can't take them apart, you need to make sure that you're using clean water. Reverse osmosis water, distilled water is best. If you use tap water or even water treated with dechlorinators, sometimes you can still have excess metals and other things in there, or calcium that over time will clog the mesh that creates that fine mist that Mist King is so good for, which gave them unique positioning in the misting market. So maintaining these, there's really not much you can do except use clean quality water. So the next thing that I'm going to show you guys is I'm actually going to have one of my employees come on, and he's going to show you guys how to get the timer hooked up to your Mist King Ultimate system.
My name is William Chapman. I am curator of the fauna and flora here at the Biodude, and I've been working here for about a year now, and I'm going to go ahead and show you all how to set up the timer that comes in every Mist King system. So what I'm going to do is, if you can see right here, you're able to set it up 2 ways. You can have it set it up directly. We have it all set up. It's already mounted on the wall and everything, tubing and all that good stuff. You can go ahead and you can just directly plug it into an outlet or an extension cord or anything. You can just go ahead, plug it in, and as you can see, you can have it always on just like this. Now this is option 1 without the timer. There is a second option. You can have the timer. I'm going to go ahead and show you that now. When setting up your timer, there are 2 ends over here. You need to make sure that they're plugged up right. They're labeled clearly right here. This one goes into the power. This one goes into the pump. Don't want to get those mixed up. You're going to have a bad time. I'm going to go ahead and get this plugged up here. As we can see here, we've got it on. And what you're able to see is there's 3 different kinds of modes. There's auto. Oops, sorry. Alright, there's auto. There's auto, on. This is always on. Or you can have it where it's off, which you're going to be using if you have it always on. For us, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be put it on auto, so that way I can go ahead and show you there are 10 programming modes that you can have. All of that means is that there's 10 specific different ways that you can have this misting system go off. So you can go ahead and you can have it over here. It goes from P0 to P9. Those are all your programming modes. You have it over here. It's on a week. This is your time whenever you would want it to start. And then over here, you can have it to go for however long. So like if you wanted to go off for 30 seconds, you would put this all the way up to 30 seconds over here. We're just going to leave it at 20 just for the sake of it. And right here, this is where you're going to be able to this is where you're going to be able to have it. Yeah, this is where you're going to be able to have it run at a certain time, whether you want it to be a week, a day, or anything in the nature. Dude, I don't know how to work this thing. Sorry about that. So you're going to be able to have it run here each and every day, or you can have it set up on a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or the week. We're going to go ahead and we're going to set it up on the week, and that's program 1. You just go ahead, you hit over here, go ahead, start setting up your time. As I was saying before, you can have it start at noon or at midnight, depends on your time zones and everything. And it just all depends on how you want it for your animals. So we're just going to go ahead, we're going to come over here, we're going to go ahead and just set it up at 1 a.m. for an example, and we're going to go ahead and have it set up to 20 seconds. Now what you would go ahead and do, you go ahead and hit set. Now as you see, it went to P2. That means that the other one is already set. Now if you want to have a different time, you go ahead, it's on the week and everything, and then you would go to P3, P4, P5, and you would do the same thing every single time.
Move him back. I have W do the timer because he's so good at it, and I'm not so good at it, and he did such a good job of explaining that. Thank you, W. I really appreciate it. So really quick, I want you guys to come over here, and I want to show you placement of your nozzles as well as the different backbone system that I was talking to you guys about. So excuse this corner over here. I'm still working on renovating some things. So as you can see, I have one of the big beefy Miss Kings right here, and you can see the thicker tubing, and then you see the reducer right here that breaks it down to the 1/4 inch. So we're gonna open it up down here, and you can see my reservoir is down there, which is using the 3/8 tubing. So you can see, a lot of people like to put their nozzles at the very front. Now, with pumps, they generate a lot of force, a lot of pressure. When you are dealing with that, there's a lot of vibration. I want to show you guys something. You guys are going to see the difference of having the nozzles in the front versus the nozzles in the back, and why I like to put them in the back. So if you come to the Sexoterra right here, look at this. This is a brand new cage. And this happened about 3 weeks after utilizing having these in the front. And I do partially contribute it because it does vibrate the cage, and when it vibrates the cage over time, it can cause issues to the overall structure of these because the original base is plastic. Whereas you come over here, and I have all the nozzles in the back for all my other 36 by 18 by 36s, and you can see I'm not having this problem, these same problems with the doors. So I'm not sure if that's coincidental, but I found that the pros of having them in the back is that I'm still able to cover all of my plants. I don't have the issues with the doors that I mentioned earlier, but the one con is that water gets on the front, which means you have to routinely clean it depending on the water quality that you're using. Whereas if you have it in the front right here, you know, you're not going to have to deal with water stains getting in the front, but you could potentially be dealing with the excess vibration, potentially causing harm to your tank. So it's one of those things that we just really want to make sure that we watch it as our system continually grows. The Miss Kings can run dry for a few minutes, but it's not recommended to let them do that. Always make sure your reservoir is full of clean water, and you don't want to let a lot of debris and other things get stuck up in the tubing or the reservoir. The last thing that I can say about the tubing is that as long as the tubing is opaque, you're good to go. Don't go cheap on tubing. Don't use clear tubing. Clear tubing over time will build up a lot of algae because light is constantly in it, and a lot of times water just sits in these, especially if it's on a timer, and especially if you're not using the zip drip. Over time, that can cause algae, bad bacteria, and other things to grow, which can at times cause harm to your animals. It will ruin your nozzles and cost you more money in the long run because you're going to have to replace specific pieces. And again, guys, my name is Josh Halter, owner and founder of the Bio Dude. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to my video, and I appreciate y'all continuing to support my business as it grows. Dude abides.